What's up? Hey, this past week was tough. If you are just catching up or you're new around here, this past week I doubled my calories to eat over 3,000 calories per day. This was not just for funsies. I knew I would be significantly increasing my activity as part of an upcoming project I'm working on, basically aiming to film 3 full-length workouts every day, in addition to sticking to my regular running routine. A bunch of you DM'd me about when the part 2 of this video would be going live, obviously right now because you are presumably watching it, but this was a little bit delayed because the first few days we were off to a bumpy start. I had imagined that I would be able to film all of the workouts every day in addition to doing my computer work between filming, as well as somehow preparing and filming all of my meals for this video that I was eating during that time, as well as somehow filming behind the scenes for Instagram and TikTok. Long story short, I boss babe too close to the sun. That was simply too much. I had a little bit of a panic attack and I realized, yeah, we cannot freestyle our schedule when we have this much to get done. So I put together a very strict daily schedule that I stuck to for the past week. It was absolutely crazy, but I needed that to ensure that I was getting everything done on my to-do list and eating. While I am an active person outside of this video, I just want to make the disclaimer that this is by no means a normal amount of activity for me. This is by no means a normal amount of calories for me. Even though I don't track anymore, I don't imagine I'm eating 3,000 calories most days. Of course, everybody's body is unique and you don't need to explain the way you eat to me. Same goes for me explaining to you. You do you got to do what makes you feel good in your body. The reason I keep harping though on this 3,000 calorie number is because after spending so many years dieting and growing up around like People magazine's best and worst beach bodies, which celebrity is following which diet, I feel like there's certain numbers and thresholds that are just ingrained in my brain for how much I think I should be eating. And it's not even a standard. It's based on my body. It's some standard set by society. Whatever that standard is, 3,000 calories would be crazy. And as much as I have made progress with the way that I speak to and treat my body and the way I see food, my relationship with food, I will admit there was still a part of me that found that number a little scary going into this week. So today I'm going to take you through the absolutely insane schedule I followed, showing you what I ate, the meals I made, how my body changed, all that jazz. Before we get into it, I want to say a huge thank you to Seed for partnering with me on today's video. In addition to doubling my eating, I also doubled, tripled, or quadrupled my training. Basically put a lot of stress on my body, which in addition to just feeling fatigued, this can also contribute to water retention, inflammation, worsen digestion, not make you feel the best. Seed is a 2-in-1 science-backed prebiotic and probiotic blend. And the reason I love it is because no matter how crazy you train, no matter how busy your routine, it's just 2 capsules daily. Super easy. So if you want to check out Seed for yourself, I'll put a link in the description box down below, as well as a code to save 15% off your first month's supply. Starting the day, most days I'd wake up somewhere between 7:30 and 8 a.m. I've been part of the 5 a.m., even the 4 a.m. wake up club before. People who wake up early, go to bed early, fight me. Something I realized very quickly though was that if I wanted to eat more calories, I had to start eating early. So most days I would literally wake up, I would have some variation of peanut butter and jam on toast. Some days I would swap the toast out for a rice cake if I didn't want to wait on the toast to toast. I'd normally do hard-boiled eggs. I was thinking maybe I'll do a fried egg, maybe I'll do an omelet. No, I stuck with hard-boiled eggs most days because I could prep them, I could grab and go. Not only am I trying to start eating early, but I was also trying to get my eating done quickly so that I could start filming early and be digested fully in that time. This is my favorite part of filming, when I get to upload the workout to my computer. I get to check it off for the day, even though I got more to do. This is really exciting for me. Depending which workout I'm filming, I will normally wrap filming for the first workout by 10 or 10:30 a.m. Then it's time to take Riker out. Now, this is not a dog channel, but I feel the need to make this disclaimer. We have 3 dogs. Different breeds have different needs. Riker is a husky and they are incredibly high energy. He needs a lot of mental and physical activity to be happy. He is also our youngest dog, so while our other dogs are happy sleeping during the day, he's got to get moving. for our solo walks, I'll often use this time to reinforce proper training with Riker. So loose leash, basic obedience. I know that you cannot tell looking at him now if Jeff could potentially pan down my little guy. Just hanging out. You can't tell by looking at him most of the time, but Huskies are a high prey drive dog. This means that instinctually they will lunge at squirrels, they will lunge at cats, smaller animals, things of that nature. It's not something that can be untrained because it was never trained. So what we'll also do on these walks is practice capturing, holding, recapturing focus if he gets distracted by a squirrel. Rather than disciplining him for lunging at a squirrel, I will reward him, give him treats when he regains focus from a squirrel, or if he can hold position as we're passing a squirrel, stuff like that. It's a fun way to break up the day. I've been posting this salad to my IG stories for the past week. I didn't think it was gonna be a thing. It has become a thing. So we have got some baby spinach, rotisserie chicken that I shred up. I always have one of these in my fridge just for convenience. A baked sweet potato that I just kind of scoop out in chunks and mix into the salad. Roasted chickpeas, which again, I always have prepped in the fridge. I love them in salads, as well as some of the peanut sauce that I shared the recipe for, I think a couple videos back, as part of the Thai cabbage crunch salad recipe. Love this, eat this with everything. So I just kind of layer all those ingredients together. I knew this was coming. I knew this would be the biggest struggle for me. Digestion. When I posted the part 1 to this video, I got a lot of comments along the lines of, oh, 3,000 calories is nothing. Just eat peanut butter, just eat sweets, just eat insert high calorie food here. The trouble is not eating 3,000 calories. If I just had like unlimited cake, I'm sure I could power through 3,000 calories. The trouble is eating enough calories in a way that will digest well for me and allow me to train with intensity shortly after eating those calories. High fat and high fiber foods are slower to digest. For me in particular, based on what I know about my body, high fat foods, they just do not vibe with me. They sit like a brick in my stomach. And if I train too close to having a high fat meal, that meal will take the express route out of me. Not a good time. So while higher fat foods can be a helpful way to get in calories, that strategy is not gonna vibe with everybody. I love this meal because it is quick, it is simple. I don't even have to think about it, and it helps me get a head start on my veggies, which has been a challenge for me this past week as I am trying to avoid bloating before and during filming. But because it's based around leafy greens, which as compared to broccoli or cauliflower, carrots, or other veggies that are harder to digest, leafy greens like spinach tend to be easier on your digestion. Something else I've been doing for my digestion is taking my 2 capsules of seed every morning. I've been doing this for like the past 6 months, maybe longer now. It's a key part of my morning routine because this past week has been taxing mentally and physically. And I think it's easy to assume that stress is just a mental feeling, but in reality, everything is connected. If you are feeling stressed out mentally, that is going to have an impact on your body. If you make changes that may even seem small to your daily routine, like changing the way you eat, changing the way you sleep, changing the way you train, that too is going to have an impact on your body. It can be perceived as an additional stress on your body as you're working to adapt. And what I love about seed is that it's not just formulated for its digestive benefits. Like, of course, it can help ease bloating, it can help keep you regular, but it's also got a whole host of benefits for cardiovascular health, for skin health. It really is designed as a total body. It's designed with your whole body health in mind. Anyways, if you want to check out Seed for yourself, I'll put a link in the description box down below, as well as a code to save 15% off your first month's supply. After eating each meal, I do try to give myself some time to digest. Luckily, there is always more work to be done. So at this point in the day, I will normally hop on my IG stories. I'll catch up on some more emails. I will edit some reels. Like, there's literally always something I can do, or I'll just review programming notes for the next workout I'm gonna film. This is the point of the day where I start to dread eating, but I know if I'm gonna hit 3,000 calories, I gotta eat. I gotta be eating regularly. So this was probably where I had the most random snacks. I really just focused on things that were tasty and, you know, fingers crossed that they digest well for me. I did a lot of rice cakes. I had so many rice cakes. I did protein bars. We did actually pick up donuts one day from a local bakery, which didn't digest great for me, but you know, we did get the calories. This is the time of day that I try to put my hardest workouts because by this point I am fully awake, I've eaten, I have energy, I'm generally feeling ready to go in my body. So depending on the day, this would vary, but this is where I'd put like a power workout, a workout that has plyometrics in it, something requiring a lot of coordination, or like a conditioning workout. I tried to put the workouts that would take the most out of me mentally at this point in the day. Because again, I'm not just doing the workout, I'm talking you through each exercise, trying to sound coherent and articulate, even though I may be dying inside. We are in the home stretch. The end is within sight. Now comment down below, I don't know if anyone else gets this, but oftentimes after a high intensity or really sweaty workout, I am not hungry. And if I actually eat too close to training, I will get nauseous, which is kind of counterproductive for replenishing energy and, kickstarting recovery. So what I focused on with this snack were things that were refreshing, that were cooler in temperature, that were more like liquidy, because more than anything I usually feel thirsty after these workouts. So I did a lot of shakes, a lot of smoothies, Greek yogurt. I made some parfaits, haven't done those in forever. Lots of fresh fruit. I also meal prepped some wraps that I just kept in the fridge to kind of grab and go, even though it was more of like a substantial food because it was cooler in temperature, it was easier to get down. Last workout of the day. It is not cardio kickboxing, it is not dancing, as much as that's the only thing I'm in the mood for right now. We have a total core workout. We're gonna get it done. I don't want to get it done, but it's gonna feel really good when we check it off the list. We're gonna be like snatched. That's what we're doing. Coming into this week, I told myself I would do my best with running, and I did, but my best involved getting out once, maybe. Truth is, it was my lowest priority. I told myself if I got my 3 workouts filmed and I still had energy, I could go out running, and the reality is I just didn't have energy. I feel like when watching videos like these or watching videos of people's lives online or on TV, it's easy to think that the camera just kind of exists, right? You kind of think that you're just following people throughout the day, but there's like a disconnect between, well, how is this getting filmed and how is this perfectly staged so that it gets filmed while they're also living their life? And the reality is that it is very difficult to live freely while on camera, like live as you normally would, because in your brain there's always that cycle of, there's like 2 to-do lists. It's like the to-do lists of what I personally have to get done, and then there's the to-do list of, okay, well, how am I gonna stage the shot and show people how I'm getting done what I'm getting done? It's interesting, but it's also very draining mentally. So most days I just didn't have the energy, and that is fine by me. This is my favorite as well as least favorite time of day because I am finally done filming, which means I get to take all of this off my face. But that also means I have to take all of this off my face, which I know this isn't even that much, but I don't want to do it. I usually finish filming around sundown, sometimes a little bit before, sometimes a little bit after, but the key is that when I am tired at the end of the day, cannot sit down. Absolutely off limits. Do not do it, because if I sit down, I slow down, and then it's game over. So as much as I'd like to take a break, we get the dogs ready, we get out on a walk. When we get back from our dog walk, it's time for dinner. We tend to eat this around 8 p.m. We eat late because we stay up late, because we film late. I mean, it's really just a cycle of things getting pushed back further and further into the day. But shocker, before dinner, I'm having another snack. We never stop eating. Something I mentioned earlier in the video is that one thing I did have trouble with was getting enough fats, getting enough fiber during the day, because I didn't want to risk these interfering with my digestion or my filming. So I would say this time of day is kind of like my catch-up time for any nutrients I feel like I missed out on. I did a lot of veggies and hummus. I do like nachos and dip. I did some granola. I did roasted chickpeas. Those aren't a staple for me, even outside of this video. Things that were easy to pick at. Nighttime is for nibbling. I get in a nibbly mood. As for dinner, I went into this week with a Pinterest board full of ideas, and I finished this week sleepy, because as much as I like cooking, I also love sitting, especially after a long day of being on my feet. So I did end up getting a meal delivery service. WeCook was kind enough to send me some of their meals. So I tried a bunch of those. Definitely check them out. They're a Canadian company. I did still do some cooking. I tried some new recipes. Okay, and I actually found some easy weeknight meals that I might bring into the regular rotation. By the time we finish dinner, it is usually well after 9 p.m. If I am preparing dinner, we're looking after 10 p.m. And there is a saying that goes,
you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
And I have become the villain, because I am now that person who is saying, I got bored of eating. By the end of each day, not only was I bored of eating, I was tired of eating. And I really came into this video thinking, oh my gosh, I'm gonna try so many new things. I'm gonna get to appreciate and try so many tasty new foods, and it's gonna be great. I love food. Food is so much fun. No, food is not fun. After this week, I do not wanna think about what I eat. I do not want to track another calorie. I just wanna get back to eating normally for me. Let's talk results. So as I mentioned at the start, I did measure in every day of this experiment to document my journey, see how my body was changing. And while I came into this expecting to gain some weight, I didn't expect to gain lasting weight, right? I didn't expect to see significant changes in my body fat or muscle mass, which of course you can gain or lose muscle or fat, but over the course of a week, I didn't expect to see significant changes in these. And to explain why, particularly from a body fat standpoint, I think it's important to keep in mind that I wasn't just eating 3,000 calories for funsies. I was significantly increasing my activity. While it's not 100% accurate, I did keep an eye on my activity tracker, and most days I was coming in burning more than 1,500 calories just from activity. Understanding how metabolism works and factoring in all those other processes in your body that burn calories, I was probably burning upwards of 3,000 calories per day. So by increasing my intake in this way, I wasn't ending up, I'm gonna guess, at a calorie surplus most days. On the flip side, I feel like this is obvious, but I definitely did not build muscle this week. Muscle building is a painfully slow process, especially when you've been training for a while, as I have, and training at a high intensity or increasing your training frequency, especially without enough recovery, 9 times out of 10 is not going to speed up muscle building. The muscle you have is as a result of protein balance. Now, proteins are always being broken down and built back up in your body. They get broken down when you're training really hard. They get built back up during recovery. So if you are training very intensely or very frequently, you're training like really hard every day without matching that with sufficient recovery, you could very well end up losing muscle. I am starting to feel normal again, and that has been reflected in my measurements. My weight has come back down roughly to about where I started, which is normal for me. I'm looking leaner, I'm looking less inflamed, but most importantly, I have energy. Moving forward, I will not be eating this many calories because, to be honest, it is not sustainable for me to do this amount of training or eating regularly. It was not enjoyable for me. Despite eating more, I did not have enough energy. I was so busy, I felt like I lost my personality, but I am always grateful for what I learned from these videos. I feel like this video in particular has given me more awareness about my body and what my threshold is for overtraining, which is something I've gotten a lot more questions about recently, especially since I've incorporated running in my routine. How do you know if you're overtraining? How do you know if you're training too much? How do you know if you need more recovery? And the truth is, it's going to be different for everybody, but some red flags to look out for would be if your progress has declined or plateaued, if you are not performing well in your workouts, if you are not looking forward to your workouts or activities you typically enjoy, if you've got excessive soreness, if you've got a weakened immunity, you're always sniffly, you always feel like you're getting sick, if you're not sleeping well, if your hunger doesn't really make sense, it's doing funny things on you, if you're having trouble concentrating, basically if you don't feel like fitness is elevating your life, it may be time to reevaluate your strategy. When people say your body is more complex than just calories in, calories out, I especially agree when it comes to how you perform mentally and physically. Recovery is not just about getting enough calories. You gotta be eating enough calories. You gotta be getting enough sleep. You gotta be setting aside enough time to feel recovered both mentally and physically. You can't just be a go, 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 hashtag productivity all the time and not expect to crash and burn eventually. That is it for today. I hope you found this video helpful. Based on the comments I saw on the last video, the part 1 of this, where I announced I was going to be doing this, it seems like a lot of you were interested for various different reasons. Maybe you are struggling to eat enough calories and you're looking for strategies or meal ideas for what you can eat. Some of you are afraid of eating more calories and are nervous about what it'll do to your body. I don't know, a bunch of you are coming at this from different perspectives. So I hope you found this helpful. I hope you took something from this experience as I did. Wherever you're coming from, let me know in the comments down below. I like checking in with my regulars. I like to see how you're progressing on your own journey. I like our little check-ins in the comment section. So that is it for today. If you want to check out the Seed Daily Synbiotic I mentioned in today's video, I will put a link in the description box down below, as well as a code to save 15% off your first month supply. Otherwise, thank you for watching, and I can't wait to see you in the next video.